Imagine a space bubble the size of Mumbai, spinning slowly around an artificial wormhole, a structure so massive the brain struggles to process its edges. Out on the exterior hull, manual laborers in environmental suits are physically scraping old corporate logos off the metal framework, clearing space line by line for the incoming sponsors. In this universe, transit, branding, and spectacle dictate every waking hour. The environment is so vast and the turnover of population so constant that the station actively erases individual identity. Survival in this ecosystem requires finding something tangible to prove that you still exist. This is where we find Tolo Bios, an all-8 drone kokoro waking up from a transit state known as the second fall, a condition resulting in profound systematic memory displacement. The amnesia is total. Upon opening his eyes, Tolo knows his name, his general coordinates on the station, and a vague, lingering feeling that someone out there cares for him. All other details are gone. He secures his baseline reality with an absurd physical anchor, a tattered mink brown cotton t-shirt with the phrase, "Hi, I'm awesome," printed entirely in reverse. His handler carefully color codes these shirts for him. A yellow shirt instantly tells him he has the day off. Because the text is mirrored, Tolo receives his status update the second he looks at his own reflection. When the mind fails to hold a narrative, a cheap piece of dyed cotton becomes the ultimate, life-saving tether to reality. Dropping down from the industrial zones brings a jarring sensory overload. The station's pleasure decks are packed with glitter girls, ship singers, and a dense, restless population seeking immediate distraction. High above this chaos, Black Corp executives stand on climate-controlled balconies, quietly calculating the revenue generated by the swarm below. Down in the thick of it is Io Ponya, an energetic streamer broadcasting her life live. For Io, this corporate purgatory is a theme park designed for engagement. When she interacts with Tolo, she doesn't see a human being suffering from cognitive trauma. She sees an interactive content piece, a mythical avatar to drive up her viewer count. The station operates like a massive, automated theater, where the literal floor plans guide every private tragedy toward the nearest camera lens. Looking through the eyes of a resident named Meg reveals the harsh, claustrophobic reality of the station's underbelly. This schematic shows the stark mathematical contrast in living conditions. On the upper decks, corporate professionals spread out across spacious, low-occupancy suites. In the working class and refugee units, the math changes. 8 to 12 beds are crammed into that exact same square footage. In these tight spaces, Meg operates as Tolo's furniture. She serves as his physical and emotional anchor in a world defined by constant, dizzying motion. Meg carries a heavy, honorable burden. Because Tolo's transit duties routinely wipe his memories, she has to manually memorize and recite his own personal epistles back to him. She acts as the living, breathing hard drive, holding his history safe, while the station inevitably erases his brain. Eventually, the architecture, the amnesia, and the live-streaming chaos all collide in the station's main welcoming atrium. Marcia, Io's mother, steps out of a decontamination spa and into the lobby. She recently spent a deeply intimate weekend with Tolo, and she is waiting for him to recognize her in this crowd. She is wearing the exact same mink brown, "Hi, I'm awesome" t-shirt that she stole from him. She stands there, waiting for the amnesiac drone to lock eyes with her and remember the artifacts of their time together. Against the cold, automated systems of the lobby, this single shared memory is all that remains of their connection. Tolo stares at her blankly. His memory displacement has thoroughly erased any recollection of her or the weekend they spent together. Tolo, Io, and a station commander named Elliot collapse onto the floor, surrendering to a fit of hysterical, uncontrollable laughter. The sheer, unapologetic absurdity of his amnesia, meeting a stolen t-shirt, entirely shatters the serious corporate solemnity of the room. They become a loud, messy, deeply human pile of giggles, directly contrasting the cold architecture towering thousands of feet above their heads. In a universe designed to constantly overwrite a person's life, gravity comes from the messy resilience of human relationships, borrowed shirts, and shared laughter.